Welcome back to Matchday Live. Thank you to our commentator there, Alistair Mann, alongside Andy Morris. And thank you to you for joining us back in the studio. It is currently all square here at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City 1, Fulham 1. You can see the teams there. Their live pictures from the boys heading back into the changing room. Paul, I'll come to you, sir. What a 45 minutes of football. Obviously, we prefer to be winning, but a great game to watch. What are your thoughts?
It has, and got to give huge credit where credit's due. Fulham have been excellent. Without the ball, they've got a really good shape to them, difficult to break down. And when they win it back, they didn't know whether they would be quite conservative with how they were going to play, but they've been really expansive. Iwobi down one side, obviously Traore down this side, and Jimenez is holding the ball up really well. Midfielders are getting up in support. It's been a really good game to watch, and from City's point of view, going behind again, it just shows you we've got the character to come back into it, but it does get slightly worrying when you're conceding the first goal all the time.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure we'll dig into that a little bit more now and at full time as well, so make sure you join us. Kit, has that surprised you, as Paul said there, that actually when they've had the ball, how much of a threat they've been, and not just once or twice, for good portions of that first half?
Well, they had three fantastic chances. Obviously scored from one of them, which was a brilliant goal from a Fulham point of view. But no, we said before the game they would be a threat on the break, and the way City play, we commit bodies forward. Rico often steps into that central midfield area from right back. So then on that transition on the turnover, that's an area they're looking to exploit. And you've got Traore, there's not many quicker than him to exploit it. And he has been a big problem. I mean, he's had their other two big chances that, fortunately for City, he's missed both of them because they're both really, really big chances.
Yeah, it feels like one of them almost was just ready for it to hit the back of the net. Before those chances, I mean, it was a really strong start from City, I thought, Paul. We were kind of at our free-flowing best. We were zipping the ball around. Fashioned two chances, kind of one after another, Gundogan and Haaland. It was a strong start.
It was a bright start. I mean, me and Kit said it, sitting watching the game, that the City looked really at it today.
Yeah.
They were zipping the ball about. There was rotation, there was 1 and 2 touch football, and as you said, a couple of chances, especially with Gundogan and Erling's little half chance it was more than anything else. So, yeah, really good start. But I think once Fulham hit us in the break the first time, I think it started to put question marks into our players' head from the turnover from when it's done, because Traore did 2 or 3 times. Kit said before the game, his end product's not really consistent enough, and maybe we're just a little bit fortunate it fell to him and not in Iwobi, the form he's in today, or Jimenez.
Yeah, that first chance that kind of came, it was a very quick break. You thought Rico Lewis had it, but Traore's speed and strength won the ball for him. Great save from Ederson. Cut to then a few breaks later, and then the Fulham goal to go 1-0 down. I mean, I have to say, some exquisite bit of play, and credit to the Fulham team. Talk us through it, Kit.
Well, there was some really, really strong play from Fulham. And as we said, they look a real threat. Their shape is, Iwobi's dropping in to make a back five. They've got the 2 holding midfield players, and then they're leaving the 3 boys pretty much free up front. And Traore's not tracking back at all. But then flip side, when Fulham do win it, he's always the outlet.
Yeah.
And like I say, quite often then with Rico having stepped into central midfield, he's trying to recover back, and you can see him trying to recover back, Cover trying to recover back. The big difference between the two teams at the minute is the pace, I think, within the Fulham team.
Yes.
Maybe compared to the City team. I'm City dominating possession and will still create chances. But that for me is the difference between the two teams, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's potentially changes to bring a bit more pace into the side. Certainly early on in the second half, if not at half time now.
I do feel, and maybe it's an unfair criticism, but nothing on their ability, their brain, of course. But as you said about the speed, Kovacic and Gundogan being in there, it's so fascinating. You do notice they probably are a little bit slower than maybe other central midfielders that we have.
Possibly, yeah, for sure. I think, and also down that Fulham left, you got Traore and Robinson, who are both lightning quick up against Rico and Bernardo, who are, Bernardo's certainly not, he's a magician, genius of a player, but he's not well known for his sort of speedy tracking back, if you like. That's not the best part of his game, for sure. So they are exploiting us a little bit down their left-hand side, our right, and they look dangerous for them. As Alistair keeps saying in commentary, they're so well set up and organised. and their shape out of possession is very good to then enable them to be in a good position to counter as well.
Well, speaking of that, that's kind of where their first goal came from, Paul. It started off down the right side, and it's an outrageous assist in there as well.
It is, but it was really good play, because I think it was Jack who gave the ball away.
Yeah.
Sort of in their right back position. They worked the ball really, really well down to the left hand side. You know, cross comes in. Jimenez does really well initially to keep it alive. Then little ball into Iwobi, but then as the ball came into Jimenez, you tell me, you can't defend that.
No, I mean
a lot of goals that he concedes, you say, oh well, maybe he should have picked it up. Or his position's wrong there, but it's just audacious.
I mean, Akanji's marking Pereira, but you can't expect that. You don't, and it's perfect as well. The actual execution. I mean, just trying it is pretty off the cuff.
Yeah.
But to actually execute it like that, now there's an element of luck within that. Don't get me wrong, because the height of it, the weight of it is absolutely perfect for. And Akanji's just caught completely. He's and understandably, like I say, he's marking Pereira, but he can't expect that. It was incredible, great bit of skill.
Yeah, lovely bit of skill.
It was probably deserved at that point, the lead.
I agree. Yeah. It was kind of. Is there something in? I mean, we'll probably dissect a little bit more when we have more time. Going a goal down, but you mentioned that back five shape, and when I think back to Brentford, that was a very similar setup. I think Ipswich as well. They kind of tried to do that as well. So, is that maybe looking a bit like an answer to scoring and trying to get something at the Etihad? That the back five works with a quick break, Paul.
Possibly, Kel, but teams have been trying to do that for the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years, coming here with a back five. You know, I think you've got to give, from a tactical point of view, you've got to give them credit today. You know, obviously Rico has been unbelievable, but you know, as Kit rightly said, when he goes into the middle of the park, Traore's not tracking back; he's staying high.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's leaving Bernardo 2v1. You know, with Robinson and Traore down that side, and it's difficult. You know, in the last sort of 10 minutes in the first half, Rico just did sit in and plays a right back to try and thwart that threat a little bit. And Iwobi on the other side, his energy levels have been fantastic. You know, he's dropping into a back, make it a 5, and then you know the couple of breaks they've had, he's more or less been the one that's been getting in the box.
We were saying, I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle Walker was to come on in the right back position, just purely match up with Traore's pace, because like I say, he's had their best 2 chances other than the goal, and luckily so far has not taken them, but he's a real threat, genuine threat today, and it's something City need to address.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if there is no one actually warming up, but if anything changes, I'll let you know. Though, as you know, we keep on fighting, Paul, and you said it's the character of this team that we never let a goal phase us, and we kind of worked our way back into it against still a very good and attacking Fulham to get the equaliser.
It's the belief of them keep doing the right things. You know, we've seen so many times that they get the rewards from it by being patient, by keeping the ball, and you know, a bit ironic it came from a corner actually. You know, because Fulham are quite a big team, and you know, if you're Marco Silva, you're probably tearing your hair out. You came to the Etihad, played ever so well, you 1-0 up, and you concede from a second ball on a corner. But you know, we had 5 or 6 corners I think just before it, and some were coming in, Leno was taking them, Fulham were winning them, and me and Kit actually said up here, maybe try and do a few short ones, but shows you how much we know, because the ball went from
a direct corner.
Second ball, and Kova was alert, on his toes to get it, and took a deflection away in, but it was a great strike anyway. It was probably going to hit the back of the net.
Big Andy said in commentary, you could sense the crowd were really getting behind the team. The momentum was really building just before the goal came as well, and you know, so full credit to this City crowd for really getting back in the team and getting behind them, and then it makes such a huge difference when you got them roaring you on as a group of players. I'm sure it gives them a huge lift.
Yeah, you definitely could feel that, particularly at the end, which was over in that direction. I did turn to my dad, Kit, and say, you know, you can see why this team are sitting in 6th, and actually, as you alluded to at the start of the show, they're probably a little bit unlucky, not to be a bit higher up. They're a hell of a team, and credit to Marco Silva as well, I think.
Yeah, again, I think he set them up very, very well. We spoke before about Smith Rowe not being in it, but it looks like they've got the balance just right. They know City are going to have a lot of possession and create chances, and I think with, like I say, Iwobi dropping in that right-hand side, it allows Tati to narrow right up, because it's that inside left channel that Erling likes to pull into, and you know, we had another chance from down there as well. So that's the danger area, I think, for them, and they've seen that, and they've tightened up with that by dropping into a 5 defensively, and the 2 holders have done a good job for them as well. They've been very solid, so they look good. You know, they're a good outfit, but again, City will just keep creating chances and keep plugging away, I'm sure, and and eventually get their just rewards.
Love that.
Enjoyable
kit.
to watch, Kel.
Yeah, great game.
Flew by, didn't it?
So many times we come here and we just sit and watch teams that sit in. We're like, oh, here we go again. I think it's been good to watch. A team actually come to Etihad and having a go.
I mean, it feels like we're kind of saying that quite a bit this season. Only 6 games in, and we were saying how tight it is. Does it feel? And Paul, you said it's probably going to be the hardest one yet. It does feel that the quality across the league is almost. You wonder, can it get any better? And it does feel it's almost gone up another gear this season.
So many good teams in the Premier League now. We're seeing it with Fulham now. They're sitting 6, I know it's only 6 games in, well, 6.5 games in. But they've got good players in there. Jimenez Pereira has been outstanding. And you look at other clubs throughout the division, that gap is from the top 4 to everybody else. That was the top 6 and it was the top 2, then top 4, but it's a top 7, 8, 9.
Yes.
I think top half of the Premier League now is incredible.
Yes.
The actual quality.
Yeah.
It's so high. The levels are so high now, and any team within that, say, top 10 are capable of beating anyone else because the levels are there now.
Yeah, they really, really are. Right, let's can bring you some possession stats. We have a possession game where we have to try and guess what possession City will end up with at full time. The closer you are, the less points you score, and that's the objective. You want as small score as possible. And I'm just getting from the gallery now. We're currently on 64% possession.
I'm one out.
But that means if it stays the same 1 point, I mean, you can't get much better than that, Kit. Do you know what I mean?
Stupid game.
Got 95,
Paul, Kit, you kind of mentioned there, maybe looking to bring Kyle Walker on, but what do you think will be being said in the dressing room, and what are City going to have to do? One, to maybe limit Fulham's attacking chances, but also maybe create a few more clear-cut chances.
Yeah, and I keep saying they've been in this position before many a time, and they'll believe if they keep doing the right things, keep doing what the manager wants them to do, as they do most weeks, that the chances will come and they'll wear teams down. As good as Fulham have been, it's very difficult to defend like that, against a team like City for 90, 95 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe as they go into the half, Doku, Savinho to come on against tired legs, bit of pace, as Kit said as well. Kyle maybe just to come in and sit at right back rather than Rico going into midfield, but it's very rarely Pep makes a lot of substitutions at half time or earlier on in the half. He wants to see how the second half starts, and if it's still the same 20-25 minutes to go, I'm sure we'll see a few changes of the players, like I said.
And I guess as well, we'll just try and limit that counter-attack, which from getting to do the show, a lot of that comes from stopping it at source rather than thinking about it when it's up at this end.
Yeah, stopping it at source and like the rest defence. So when you're actually attacking, make sure your shape is right for that quick counter. And Fulham are very good at it, and they, as they showed in that first half, creating some good chances. So it's just tying up a little bit. Like I say, maybe if Rico is still on, not to go quite as far into midfield, maybe at times when he's got the ball, but get back into his shape a bit quicker. I think when we're still attacking.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Paul, Kit, thank you so much. Young Rico there, just seeing him in the side of the shot. He's coming back out onto the pitch. Alistair Mann has got your commentary. Thanks for coming to the studio. We'll be back at full time, but now go sit back, relax. Well, I say relax. Let's hope it's a comfortable Manchester City win come full time. It's Manchester City 1, Fulham 1.
Welcome back to the Etihad at the start of the second half. Fulham make their way out, feeling pretty pleased with themselves. They've acquitted themselves extremely well in that first 45 minutes. City had some genuine problems with them. The statistics certainly are in City's favour. 64.5% possession, 15 attempts, 4 of them on target for the Blues.